Scientific notation. We use scientific notation to express large numbers or small numbers easily. And so our general formula for scientific notation is m times 10 to the n, where m is a number that's greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10, and n is defined to be a whole number. So we want this first number here, this m, to be greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10, and n always has to be a whole number. You can't have like 3.2 or 6.1. You have to have a whole number here, like a 3 or a 6. So let's look at some examples. Here we have 1,255 miles. I want to express this in scientific notation. So the decimal point is right there. And in order to get this to get the value of m to be greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10, I'm going to have to move that decimal point over. And I have to move it over 1, 2, 3 places. So I'm going to write down that 1.255 times 10 to the third. You see, 10 to the third is 1,000. And so if I take 1.255 and multiply by 1,000, I'll get that number back. So 1.255 times 10 to the third miles. Oh yeah, we can't forget our unit. We have to make sure we include our unit. So large numbers will get positive exponents, small numbers will get negative exponents. See here, 0.03 centimeters. I'm going to have to move the decimal point to the right in order to get the value for m being greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10. But if I move it over just one place, that's too small. So I'll have to move it over twice. And that gives me 3 times 10 to the negative 2. See, now I have to use the negative because it's a smaller number. 3 times 10 to the negative 2 centimeters. Now, if I brought it over a third time, then that would be 30, and then that would make this too big. So you know when to stop as long as the m, which is right here, has to be greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10. And notice that we're just using whole numbers. And of course, we're including our units. So 0.03 centimeters is going to be 3 times 10 to the negative 2 centimeters. 486 square yards. Decimal point is here. We have to bring it over 1, 2 places. So 4.86 times 10 to the 2 square yards. 31500. Look, man, look at all those zeros. I can't even count that many zeros. Well, I can, but you know, who would want to write a number like that anyway? I mean, just look at it. It's just confusing. So let's write it in scientific notation. We put the decimal point here. We have to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 places. 8 places, so 3.15 times 10 to the 8th. The unit is people, so we put our unit down. 3.15 times 10 to the 8th people. 0.000194 meters. We have a very small number, so you know you're going to have to use a negative exponent. And we bring that decimal point over 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So it's going to be 1.94 times 10 to the negative 4. Notice that our value of m is greater than or equal to 1 and less than 10. And our value of n is a whole number. It could be positive or negative. It could even be 0. So let's do some other examples. Let's go backwards. Let's start with scientific notation and just write out the whole number. 3.4 times 10 to the 1 minutes. 10 to the 1. You know you're going to have a bigger number. This time, in order to get it to be bigger, you're going to have to move the decimal point to the right. Notice 10 to the 1 is 10, so 3.4 times 10 is going to be 34. 34 minutes. 2 times 10 to the 4th days. It's going to be a large number because it has a positive exponent. 2 times 10 to the 4th, that's going to be 10 to the 4th. Let's see. 10 times 1 is 10. 10 times 2 is 100. Times 3 is going to be 1,000 times 4 is 10,000. So 10,000 times 2 is 20,000 days. Again, you just take that 2, you write it down, and you bring that decimal point over 1, 2, 3, 4 places. 2 times 10 to the 4th days, 20,000 days. 8.4 times 10 to the negative 3 seconds. It's got a negative sign, so you know it's going to be a smaller number. So we bring that decimal point over not once, not twice, but 3 times. So that's going to give us 0.0084 seconds. 1 times 10 to the 3rd kilograms per cubic meter equals 1 to the 3rd. It's going to be a bigger number. We're going to move that decimal point to the right. So 1, 2, 3 places to the right. That's going to give us 1,000 kilograms per cubic meter. 9.5 times 10 to the negative 1 square meters, or meters square. We have a negative number. It's going to go to the left, going to make it smaller. Therefore, 0.95 meters square. I hope that cleared up any questions that you had on scientific notation. If you have other questions, please contact me. I'm here to help you.